Hey you guys, this is Courtney Camaro. I'm outside of Muhammad Ali's real original home. We're in Chicago, and I wanted to shout out Al's Botanics and Herbs. Man, when I tell you, I am one of those people that has insomnia. I can't sleep. I can't focus on some days because I'm so sleep deprived, and this has helped. This is one of the mixtures he has that helps with sleep.
Welcome to alsherbs.com, the oasis for your wellness journey. Our mission is to promote good health and reduce the risk of disease by providing a holistic approach to well-being. From the soothing scent of lavender to the invigorating kick of ginseng, we've got you covered with a wide array of herbs, supplements, and wellness products. Imagine the power of nature, harnessed and delivered right to your doorstep. That's the alsherbs.com promise, and it's a promise we're proud to keep. Shopping at alsherbs.com has truly transformed my life, says one of our satisfied customers. The quality of their products is unmatched, and I've never felt better. And she's not alone. Countless individuals have found a one-stop shop for all their wellness needs at alsherbs.com. It's made a world of difference in my life, another customer shares. And what's the secret to our success? It's simple. We believe in the power of holistic wellness, and we're committed to providing the best products to support your journey. Whether you're boosting your immune system, seeking natural remedies, or enhancing your fitness routine, we have everything you need. The path to a healthier, happier life is just a click away. Visit alsherbs.com today and experience the transformative power of nature. Take the first step towards a vibrant, fulfilling lifestyle. alsherbs.com, where your wellness journey begins. Improving lives, one herb at a time. Your wellness oasis awaits.
What's going on today? We're going to be talking about rental properties, property management. The question is, so you want to be a landlord. Okay, you bought some property. You put it on the market first. It didn't sell right away as you thought it would. Now you need to make use of this property. So you need to rent it out to a tenant that needs some housing. So what do? Okay. So I can tell you firsthand with my real estate knowledge that I have, which is quite extensive. I have a lot of insight personally, as well as through my grandfather, other family members, even my mother. She had rental properties. One of the things, man, shout out to my mother, man. I forget sometimes, man. My mother, man, she had used her house a couple times. One time to rent it out to Section 8. Yeah, she had a Section 8 tenant for about a year or two. After I went away to school, she had a Section 8 tenant in my family home I pretty much grew up in, because pretty much everybody left. My sisters left, I left. She still was living in the property, and she wanted to, he had this big old house, like, I think it's like one of the Sears catalog houses, built in the like late 1800s, Dalton, Illinois. Basically, it was about 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 on each floor. And actually it was four bedrooms. And basically she had this big old house, so she needed to rent it out. My grandfather had buildings, commercial buildings on all 4 corners. I'm gonna show you what my grandfather like, that's why, it's one of the reasons why I never joined no gang either. because I knew what absolute power was. I knew what power was at an early age. And street gangs, they do have some local power. I give them that. But they don't really have the power like as far as like on a national or a regional level, to the point where it can conduct business legally and compete in the business world. Now, I'll give the black street gangs. The Gangster Disciples tried to do that. They tried to rebrand and change their name to Growth and Development, but pretty much the white establishment wasn't having it, because I mean that was who was running Chicago, running Illinois, the Irish primarily in the white establishment. They said pretty much you can't do that. We're not having it. Now they were able to do it. Okay, the Daley Jr.'s father, Daley Sr., he was in an Irish street gang. Okay, he was in an Irish street gang. I don't remember the name of it, but he was able to get into politics, and he ran Chicago like a mobster. And he pretty much was an Irish mobster, and he ran Chicago for a long time, like that. And I mean, basically, that was pretty much kind of how I saw my grandfather, man. My grandfather wasn't nothing to play with, man. I just say that, man. But I'm gonna just show you, pretty much what my grandfather, pretty much owned. He owned it. He and a business partner, one of his army buddies, they own these buildings. These commercial buildings right here. It was a liquor store. Well, actually, on this side, it was a pharmacy, because this is on he owned all four of these corners, except no, he didn't own the third. So he owned this corner here, the corner to the right. It was a laundromat. So this was a pharmacy. This was a laundromat. And then on the other side, the opposite side of the laundromat, was a liquor store. So he owned all of these commercial buildings, and they had apartments above the basically building. So he owned them. So now he didn't own the whole block. Like, okay, for example, I don't know if necessary. I think this building is connected. He might have owned that whole. Yeah, I think he owned the whole building. But he had a business partner, so he had his family help him out, and he had one of his army buddies help him out. And they own like, yeah, three of these commercial buildings on opposite sides of the street. That's what I used to have to get up early in the morning to basically help my grandfather with his liquor store. It was like probably about 4 or 5 in the morning. We had to get up to prepare for the day. The store would open up like at about 8 o'clock. So if you know, like, basically, if you're willing to work hard and get up early and be consistent, and keep in mind, this was the 1960s. Okay, people were still getting lynched. I mean, he was from Mississippi. He came to Chicago in the 50s. He worked for a few jobs. He saved his money. Him and his friend started a business, got a liquor license, bought a pharmacy, and he even had a pharmacy. So coming from a small shack in Mississippi with an outhouse, no electric, no plumbing. Okay, no running water. You know, he had a drive that you can't teach. You know, so a lot of people that grew up in poverty or grew up in poor conditions. I mean, he didn't have any like food wasn't the issue because it was basically they were farmers. So he had cows, pigs, chickens, goats, you know, crops, you know, so he pretty much the family had food and sustenance. They didn't necessarily have the modern plumbing and the modern housing and everything like that people, you know, had, you know. And even to be honest, like it's certain areas, even if you could have like a modern house, but you won't have like, you know, you talking about like 60 to 70. It's like 80 years ago. They didn't even have the infrastructure for modern sewage, modern plumbing, modern electric. It wasn't even grids. It wasn't even any grids available to tie into. So a lot of this stuff is new, like modern real estate, as far as modern housing, is relatively new. Like it's something that is it's very new. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, I took construction. I pretty much took construction for about a year because I knew I wanted to get into real estate. That was just something that I wanted to do because I knew I wanted to be on the construction side of real estate. I knew I wanted to know the ins and outs of architecture, construction. I still got my construction book, by the way. I didn't throw it out or I didn't sell it. So yeah, I'm in too deep. Okay, so yeah, it's more than just a hobby. Okay, it's part of my it's one of my tools, man, for investments. Just like my grandfather, he did it on a big scale, but yeah, he had apartment buildings. So when I talk about what I'm going to be talking about, it's not from a perspective of somebody that don't have insight and knowledge and know what they did wrong and what, you know, they had to work with, because I'm going to talk about different neighborhoods. I'm going to, you know, basically I'm going to give you some value add information for free, just to show my appreciation that you subscribe to my channel, that you know, watch my content, so you don't have to mess up. You don't have to go out and bump your head when you go and buy some property and you try to rent it out. So you'll know already somebody told you the right way to do things, a different perspective. I pretty much I watch a lot of different real estate investors that they are into property management primarily. Most real estate investors, like the guy I bought my house from, they either a couple things. They're either into fixing and flipping primarily. You do have some real estate investors that are just pretty much fixing flippers. They don't really want to do nothing with no landlording, property management, none of that. And then you have some real estate investors that they are a mix of both. They are also fixers and flippers, and they also are into property management. They're landlords. So the old term is landlord. The new term is property management. That's why I'm saying both of them. But the thing is that a lot of times some people are better at doing landlording for whatever reason than fix and flip. Some people are better at fixing and flipping than landlording. Landlording it's a lot, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So yeah, this is 75th and Cottage Grove, south side of Chicago. It is about in between I'll say it's about 10 minutes from downtown Chicago from the Loop. If it's no traffic, it's about 5 minutes from Hyde Park. Considering the street lights and all of that. Of course, it's like probably, with street lights, probably about 10 minutes from Hyde Park. It's literally down the street from Hyde Park. Less than 3 miles, 3 to 5 miles from Hyde Park. So it's right in the middle of the city of Chicago. It's 75th and Cottage Grove. So Hyde Park is like the fifth, like in the 50s, 100 blocks. Starts in like the late 100 blocks of Chicago. So what's the purpose of this content? I want to give you something as a toolkit of if you are thinking about being a landlord, and why I think from my perspective of why people have problems with tenants, and a perspective of I'm going to give you how you can absolutely do better as a landlord, depending on your situation and circumstances, of course. Because one of the things about being a landlord that's difficult is that, first of all, it's a financial tool. It's a financial perspective that you have to have the money to buy a commercial building, or if you have a house, you can rent the house out, of course, as well, but you have to have the money to actually buy the house, or at least have the property in your name, or you have some type of arrangement to rent the property out. It's a lot of ways you could do it. Usually people own the property. Some people, they manage properties for other people, and that goes into more property management. But typically the person that rents out the property, they have some type of ownership with the property. Either they have a mortgage on the property, and or they own the property outright. Okay. And they're renting out to tenants. That's typically how that works. So with that being said, I'm going to get right into this and give my perspective on why I think people have problems with landlording. They have issues with people not, paying the rent, not, damaging their property, things like that, right? So let me play a video here, kind of give you a perspective. And this is one of the coldest guys in the game right here. Very good speaker as well. He's if you in the real estate spaces and you in the real estate investment spaces, you heard this guy, seen this guy already. So let me play this here and get this.
And then, like many people, she used the pandemic as an.
Let me refresh this here real quick.
So check it out, right? I'm gonna take you guys with me on a situation that I have with a tenant. That my tenant hasn't paid me rent in about 2 years. She hasn't paid me rent. So she stopped paying me rent before the pandemic. And then, like many people, she used the pandemic as an excuse to justify continuing not to pay me. Well, it's over today. Remember I told you guys time is up. Well, today is her last day in the apartment. But I'm going to do right by her, and I'm going to help her out. So I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm about to do. So come along with me, y'all.
Now it'd appear like he's a simp, I mean, I don't know the backstory of the situation. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily, I don't know. I mean, you could draw your own conclusions, but the thing is that one of the things that I haven't got into it is that people gonna fall on hard times. You dealing with people. Typically, apartments are. I hate to. I know it's like it's. Nowadays it's different because a lot of people have um, different ways that they rent. Renting now is not like how it was, let's just say 100, 200 years ago. Typically, renting is associated with being poor. The reason why they call it a landlord is because the lords, it goes back to Europe and the monarchy system and having a lord over the land, and you rent the land and you rent housing and all of that. So it's not like that now. It is it's a big element of it still, but it's not like it in the sense where apartments are not associated with necessarily 100, like it's not associated with being poor. You have rich people that live in apartments or own apartment buildings in New York. I've talked about this with Lonzo was on the panel just last week. We were talking about we were showing apartments in Chicago, and they're kind of on par with New York as far as their offerings, how expensive they are. You probably get more bang for your buck in Chicago because Chicago is a lot cheaper than New York. It's trying to catch up, but the thing is, it's not associated with being poor, but it is a lot of poor people also that still rent apartments, and they're not necessarily living in luxury or anything like that. It's just, for the person that is trying to live luxury life in an apartment, for every one person that is trying to do that or is in an expensive apartment somewhere in a downtown area of Chicago or in New York, there's 100 or 1,000 people that's just living in an apartment trying to survive. Even living in they still have projects in Chicago and as well as New York, just trying to basically survive, trying to have some place to live, right? So it's high and low on a socioeconomic level. People live in apartments. People need apartments to live in. So the thing is that usually on a sense of people owing money, people having problems paying rent, it's normally associated with people that are financially struggling. So he had this lady. It says pretty much not paying the rent for 2 years. Now the thing is that this brother I didn't follow him when he first started. This man is what I'm talking about. Let me put my banner here because I was in the middle of doing that. Basically, he has what is called a financial surplus. He has a financial surplus. Okay, so what do I mean by that? He have enough money to sustain his buildings and his real estate, even if like a renter is not paying rent. You might have a building that's a four flat building. One of those persons might not pay rent, maybe even two, and then you have two other people paying rent, and it'll cover the cost. A lot of times he talks about it more, but he has a situation financially because he knows how to invest. He knows how to buy right, because a lot of times you like, I'm sure you probably heard this before. A lot of times you make your money before you even purchase, because basically you get a real estate deal that's going to make you money more than as far as like profit than what it will cost you in the long run to purchase the property. You'll get more as far as a return because the price is so low. You can cover a lot of things. Like, for example, if you get a 4-flat building and it's $100,000, and you obviously can collect a normal rent around, let's just say Chicago is right now about $1,200 for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. You got, let's say, 4 of these units. Okay. So obviously $100,000, if you know anything about real estate and you know about mortgage prices and what a typical mortgage would be for that, depending on the interest rate and of course the taxes every year, you're looking at less than $1,500 a month for your mortgage for the commercial building. So one of those units essentially will pretty much come close to covering the mortgage costs on the property. And also, the more you hold the building, you build up more equity on the property. If there is equity, you got to keep that in mind as well. But you have also 3 other units. They all pay their rent. That's where your profit comes in at. So even before that, honestly, you should have a financial surplus of, enough amount to where worst case scenario is some hardships. You can cover building repairs. You can cover missed rent payments. You can cover any financial obligations toward those rental properties that you have. That's what I mean by financial surplus. This brother, he got basically a financial. I spelled this wrong. He has a financial surplus, of substantial financial surplus, because he's been doing it. He's been doing it a long time, and he's built up a lot of momentum over the years. And he saves his money. He doesn't necessarily go out and be too reckless. He's a disciplined investor. That's what I get from him. I mean, so the thing is that the 2 years of not, collecting rent. I mean, he might have got some type of. They got a lot of grants now for people that can't afford to pay their rent and they're affected by the pandemic. He might have got that. So I'm not necessarily caping for the man, but I'm just saying. I mean, he didn't necessarily put all of the story as far as what actually happened. Let me play this further and show you.
It's raining.
It's been pouring.
Well, we already stay nice.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's not the Converse, right?
Yeah, I love Converse. Yeah, I just gotta get this straight here. But my car is packed. My son said he gonna come help me. I gotta go get him.
So you want to go and we could put the stuff out and then come back and get this?
Yeah.
All right. So
this right here is it. This right here is it. And my food. Like I said, I just gotta get
how
it.
you feeling? You all right?
I'm trying to hang in here, Bobby.
I tell you, I promise you, I'm gonna take them.
Like I said, I'm so sorry for leaving the apartment.
Nah,
there's holes in the walls.
There's holes in the walls.
Like I said,
so you want to go move the stuff, do what you have now, and come back? No, but I'm sweet, so I'm a melt in the rain. So my car's right there, so okay. I'll follow you. Okay. All right. Even though this tenant did me wrong, I'm not heartless. I'm not gonna just crap on her, I'm gonna do the right thing. So right now I'm gonna help her to move her stuff into the storage, and I'm gonna come back, move the rest with her. Then I'm gonna put her in a hotel for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna put her in a hotel for a couple of weeks, give her some money so I make sure she has some food. So yeah, I'll buy a new pair. Don't worry. Beautiful apartment. It really is a beautiful apartment, but a little bit of cleanup and stuff, and it'll be back to what it was. But I am gonna do the right thing by her and help her out. We're in the hotel spot I'm gonna put her into. So, okay, so give it to me for 2 weeks. Okay. Is that good? Is that good? Or do you want another week? Make it 3 weeks for me, please. 3 weeks? Yeah, give me 3 weeks. That's fine. You don't need to sign. Okay. All right, thank you, all right? Thank you. All right. Okay, I'm gonna be in my car. Okay, thank you.
Now another thing is, and this is kind of more just I would say just as far as a perspective of like men and women. Women tend to like to live in apartments more so than men. This is why I say that, right? Okay. So men tend to like prefer to live in a house, typically, depending on what type of man it is. I mean, I know a lot of men now, they was raised by women, and they were typically probably raised in an apartment setting, so they probably can kind of get ingrained in living in an apartment. So it depends, but most men tend to want to live in a house. A lot of men don't have the money or the wherewithal to get into real estate like that, or even to own a home, or it's a lot of stuff that's is involved with that, right? But the thing is that women tend to live in apartments even if they have the wherewithal financially to live in a house. They tend to prefer, because of a lot of things. I think because of communally living in an apartment building, you're surrounded by other people, so it's like a community type of thing. Women tend to like to kind of be in a communal setting. And then also it's a perspective of they don't really like living in a house unless they have a certain type of reality. Like women, okay, I said this before, women tend to, like, even the hardcore, like I call it, masculine Maxine type women, they tend to want to have that fairy tale romantic life in the back of their head. Women get ingrained with that at an early age, to where they want the husband, the children, picket fence house with the garage. They don't have that. They'll probably live in an apartment. I'm this is just my opinion. I'm not. It's just my opinion as far as how I look at it. Because I always wonder, like I know women that I've been in a relationship with women that have the financial wherewithal to buy a property and get a really good deal on it, but they just prefer to live in an apartment. I've even had long discussions about that. What's going on, NC Worker? Not arguments. I wouldn't say if it was arguments, it wasn't like no disrespectful, nothing like that. It was just like, damn, I mean, you know, you spending $1,000 a month for an apartment, you could get a nice house in your area that you're like down the street, you know, and then mortgage, and then here's the thing. This is where it gets fucked up, right? I'll be right most of the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to me, man. I went to business school. A lot of people don't know that. Like, I mean, I went to business school my first year. It was way too difficult. I literally changed my major. But I do have like I said, I have a business background because of my grandfather. So I know, you know, my grandfather was a millionaire. And he was I would call him a secret millionaire because nobody knew. I mean, a lot of people did know, but he was so good with it. He didn't, even his own kids didn't even know he was a millionaire. And definitely his grandson, because if I knew my grandfather didn't tell me he was a millionaire till I was about 27, 28 years old. And I don't know. I just was like, man, I was a smart kid, but I wasn't that damn smart, man, back then, man. I didn't know what the prices of a liquor store. Chat GPT wasn't out back then. Google wasn't out, man. If you had to find some shit out, man, you had to go to the library and look that shit up, man. I wasn't going no damn library looking up what the hell the price or the amount of profit potential of a liquor store was. But it wasn't even just the liquor store. He had the units above. He had tenants above the properties. I mean, above his liquor store that lived in the building. So the thing is that basically, all that being said, you need a financial surplus to be able to really, really do landlording, deal with your property, deal with property management. You need a financial surplus, and that should be obvious. Obviously, that's very Captain Obvious, like, right? Need money, right, to do anything. Because if you don't have the money, it goes into a lot of other things. And this is what basically things kind of go into, right? So basically, this is where this kind of goes into landlording is a business. Okay, landlording is a business. Okay, landlording is a business, and that's what people mess up. You're not like, okay, this is where I had arguments with some of my friends, and I've had arguments even with people. I mean, had arguments with my ex-wife about this. You're not a business person. So, and this is where it goes into choosing your mates wisely and having the certain conversations with people. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, certain people that they still your friend. You can have a drink with them, whatever. But they not your friend that had a business. Your friend that that had a business. Y'all can speak a certain language. The other friend that ain't never been in business, that kept going to that job every day and never put his balls on the table and tried to make it in business for as long as they can't have that conversation because they ain't never did it. Because see, here's the thing when it comes to business. I'm gonna talk about business because that's my thing too. That's the main thing, right? All of this is business, right? So you can't a lot of times be in a business, right? Because business is very, very difficult. What I mean by difficult. A lot of people, they don't want to get into business, or they can't. They're terrible being when they try going into business, because the reason why you work that job a lot of times is it's easy to do that. It's easy to just, basically, and I know it's hard, but it's easy to go to that job and get that automatic paycheck, that automatic guaranteed paycheck. And get that money that you automatically get, right, for going to work. Hold on. Got some issues here. So let me see. I got that's the reason I have cats, man. I hear something moving or something like that. And it's no, I hear something going on. And it's a reason why I always wonder why my damn cat kept wanting to come in this room and sniff. So yeah, we got some things. We gotta think some things we gotta do. I think I have a mouse somewhere. That's I think I got a damn mouse hiding in my printer or something, man. I don't know. I'm like, here, I'm just sitting here hearing some shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And yeah, I think that I figured out what's going on, but I ain't really necessarily worried. I got my cat. I got my cat. She go, see, it's a lot of time. I know this is all over the place, but this is live. Like, life is happening. I mean, shit. I can't pause life. Whatever the fuck was going on before, So here's the thing, right? So a lot of times you be thinking your cat or your dog is annoying you, right? They really trying to tell you, like, hey, Goofy, is somebody coming around the corner, or if it's a dog, or hey, Goofy, you got a mouse up in here. I'm trying to help you out. I'm sniffing it out. And it's like, I'm like, why? I'm working. I was working in this room, and I was wondering. I was like, damn, my cat, come here. I'm like, why the hell does she keep coming in this damn room? And sniffing around like she's smelling food. And it's like, okay, I figured it out. So, but anyway, all of that distraction aside, we still gonna get through this. It's time stops for no one, and whatever mouse or whatever the hell this is, it's not gonna stop. So the thing is that when it comes to landlording, right? Landlording is a business. Okay, it is a business. And what I was saying, that a lot of people are real sensitive, and they get offended, but the truth is the truth. It's over here, something over there. Come check it out. Come on, you gonna check it out right over here. So landlording is a business, right? And this is the thing about business. A lot of people are not good in business because the business takes some person that is very, very highly advanced and responsible. Really, your job is supposed to teach you how to be a businessman or woman. It's really training for you to be a businessman or woman. Whatever responsibilities that you learn from your job and your business, you learn to take from that and you go into, if you do go into business, you learn this is what you do, this is how you do it, this is the type of system that you need to run, and you need to, you know, work this system and scale it up. A lot of people can't do that because, okay, certain people want to have their fun. They want to be able to get off work and have their fun at work. It's a different type of having fun in life when you know you getting a paycheck at the end of the day. No matter what, you getting a paycheck at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of every 2 weeks, whatever. Knowing that you don't have no problem with anything. You don't have no issues. Right there. You don't have no issues with okay, the pressure of how am I going to pay my rent for my store? How am I going to pay for inventory? How am I going to pay for my employees? How am I going to pay for my taxes? How am I going to pay for my electricity bill? All of these concerns when it comes to business, you don't have that as an employee. You just show up to work, you have a good time. The conversations are as such because you know at the end of the day that business is making money and you're able to get a paycheck. Well, landlording, this is why, you know, this is tough, you know what I'm saying, tough lessons and tough love for people that are struggling landlords now and have struggled in the past. And obviously you can rewind this if you go into landlording in the future, and you know basically you could pretty much humble yourself okay, by you not really watching this video or coming back to watch it, and then you like, oh okay, man, the broke genius was right, man. Oh man, I'm feel like a dummy. I should have took his consultation. He got the cheapest consultation in the whole damn YouTube. But you know, I just followed everybody in the Discord to say fuck the broke genius, and that's what I did. Now I'm fucked up in the game. But anyway, the thing is that yeah, landlording is a business, and just like I know business is very, very difficult, and a lot of times you don't have the money, you don't have the actual financial capital to be able to you know, have a surplus. So here's the thing, this is what I'm talking about. So when it comes to, you know, landlording is a business, a lot of people in landlording do a lot of messed up things. In business, you can't be Mr. Friendly like that. If people think that you are their friend and you just a gullible gump that, you know, oh, I could just take advantage of him or her. If you trying to be their friend, like I'm talking about like on some not like what he doing. People that what he doing, you can get to that level. Basically, when you're rich, when you become close to a millionaire or a millionaire, yes, you can be philanthropic. You can be a nice guy, you could be a nice woman, whatever, and you can be philanthropic to the point where I obviously philanthropy comes with, in my opinion, being rich. Some people don't feel like that. Some people don't think that way, or they philanthropic toward their own group or whatever, culture, religion, stuff like that. Okay, fine, but it is a certain level of philanthropic initiatives I believe you do need to take once you're wealthy. Okay, even me, I'm my channel called The Broke Genius. I be what? You see me all over, you know, giving donations, Cashapp, super chats. Because one, obviously I ain't broke, but even when I was broke, I was still giving super chats because, you know, I'm just a generous person, man. If I think you got some good insight and you got some good content, I'm learning something or whatever, I'm entertained. The popcorn is a lot better because I'm getting entertainment. Yeah, I'm a donate. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is this, right? when it comes to, that certain level of being philanthropic, some people that are not rich, that's where they had a problem. You got to be rich to be philanthropic to a certain extent. You can't just be like, about a year or a month or 2 weeks from being poor or being out on the streets yourself and be philanthropic. That's where that becomes a problem with a lot of people. And then you trying to be the people's friend and everything like that, and they like, oh, this dude cool, man. It's my homie. He gonna let me go a month, 2 months without paying. Oh man, he know what I'm going through with my baby mama or my job, man. They cut hours and blah blah blah. Oh, because he your homie now. And it's like, if you don't check people, like in business, you gotta check people. You gotta like, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it real. You know how I get. I say it like it is. Women used to come to my computer store and be like, I need my computer fixed. I was single at the time, wasn't married, no kids. I was like, one chick, she was a looker. She was kind of gorgeous. Yeah, he spotted something. Yeah, you spotted, right? Yep. Something in there. Yep, there's something in there. Yep. So we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it after this live stream. We're gonna hunt. We're gonna go on a hunt. We're gonna get that thing. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna put some gloves on. But yeah, so I said, well, this can be free for you, this repair. I get you a brand new computer. I mean, but we both adults, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't your boyfriend. You got a boyfriend? Like, I was, I go there. I went there because I mean, it's just like, basically you're not gonna just this not a non-for-profit. I used to say that too. I used to tell that, like, people, a lot of people used to, black people, of course, too, try to pull that. I don't have the money, or I don't want to come up with it and all that. I'm like, this is not a non-for-profit. This is a for-profit business. If you don't have it, come back when you do. And it's like, a lot of people don't, and you don't have to be rude or anything like that. It's just, some people will just try you. If they think that you're weak, they think you're so nice that you're weak, they will try to exploit you. Some people, they like to haggle when you're dealing with even services, even of course sales, but even service, people try to haggle you. Even I had some people try to pull this, because I also deal with services. I mean, one of the things about me is I deal with sales and services. So a lot of when I'm doing like handyman work, it's mostly services. I'm not selling anything. A lot of times people try to pull stuff in between you doing a service. They try to haggle after you've completed work. They try to haggle you on, if you agree to a price after you've done the service. They try to say, I want to pay this. And no, that is the quickest way to have somebody really, really be upset really, really fast, and things to go really crazy really, really fast, because that is absolutely extremely disrespectful, because you basically robbing me of my labor at that point. And then if you black, I would say that definitely, black folks don't play that I'm robbing you of my labor shit. And it's for obvious fucking reasons. So the thing is that, again, landlording is a business. Business ain't no friends in business. That is true. Like, yeah, you can get friends, but sometimes let's just say it like it is. Okay, what's a friend? Friend got your back, right? A friend ain't gonna be like trying to steal from you, trying to take from you. So yeah, even if it is friends in business, it's just like friends in the personal world. You got bad friends, you got snake friends, you got friends that ain't your friends. Like, A lot of times in landlording, I see a lot of times people try to pretend like they're your friends so they can get a hookup. And that hookup is, I don't want to pay this money. I ain't got it this month. And I told you because we had a drink about it. You came over my apartment. We had some beers. Yeah, some people do that. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I know people very personally that they were going to get haircuts from their tenants. They was hanging out with their tenants and shit. Cause some people be just lonely, man. They need friends and shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I be lonely sometimes, but then at the end of the day, I'm a loner. So I don't need your friendship. I'm not paying for friends. Like, some people do that, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, shout out to Floyd Mayweather, man. You know, and that's the thing. Also astrology type stuff, right? Zodiac stuff, man. Aquarius men, they will pay you. They'll pay you to be their friend, man. Shout out to them, man. they some good friends, but then they gonna laugh at your ass, man. When if you try to do them dirty, they gonna tell the world about your little shiesty ways or whatever. So you got to treat them right, but they will pretty much vouch for you and lend, there are humanitarians, truly, to a certain extent. Okay, you got a dark side too, but they do be trying to buy their friends and shit. Both men and female, male and female Aquarius, man. That's how they get down, man. Oh man, they do that like probably to the extreme. But yeah, in business, if you're Aquarius, you might want to have a property manager that is like a Capricorn or something, or a Virgo, because basically, we dealing with commerce. I'm not your daddy. I'm not your mama. I'm basically your landlord. Okay, where's my rent? Okay. So yeah, it's a business. Okay. That's what people get wrong right off the jump. And then it's a business in all aspects. You got to manage it like a business. Business is hard. You do not know how hard business is. All you got to do, this is what you got to do. If you want to, it's like what Cat Williams say, you want to figure out what jail like, go close the door and turn the lights off for as long as you can. If you want it, that'll wake your ass up. If you feel reckless and you ain't never been to jail and you're trying to sign all kind of shit and all that, trying to get, all them people got PPP loans and shit. Go close the door and turn the lights out for, go in the closet door, turn the lights out for about as long as you can. So the thing is with the business, this is what you do. You want to figure out how tough business is. Get whatever you got in your house and go to the flea market and get up early in the morning to go do it. Then you'll realize when you go in the store and you ask somebody for a discount and they definitely, they're struggling. Maybe if you got some type of soul or heart, you're going to realize, okay, business is kind of tough. Or if you just ain't never been in business or whatever, just do that. Get some stuff. Go get a table and go to your local flea market early in the morning and then stand up there and try to sell a bunch of strangers whatever you got. That's your experiment if you want to figure out how tough business is. If you're a woman, you got an edge. If you got a halter top and you got some titties, you got a fat booty and you got a pretty face, you got an advantage. And if you are like that, I need you to reach out to me as soon as possible. I have some sales that I'm looking for salesmen. So yes, landlording is a business, no doubt. All right. So here's another thing where people be messing up. Okay, and we're gonna play another video from a man. Oh, we're gonna finish this one up.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cash out you some money. So you'll have plenty of money. So I want you to go get something to eat. I want you to just chill. It's a nice place. You're gonna relax, chill.
And then notice this, right? It's a dude. it's dudes that'll do that, right, to a chick. You know, I don't know, man. Like they in a relationship with, and the chick will still fuck it up, man. She'll totally mess that relationship up and go get with a bum, and then be living out in the street. And that's what she gonna be here in the morning. The damn fucking birds, man. Sleeping up with the birds in the park. Strung out on some damn strung out on crack because your boyfriend turned you out. Like, yeah, dudes turn women out, women turn men, try to turn women men out too, or even turn men out. You know. Yep, they do that. They do that every day. So yeah. I really can't take no more of this. I'm gonna be honest with you. But this dude, he you know, if he got that bread, man. I mean, the thing is, the good thing with that is, I'll say this. With that, the good thing is that when you like that, people going basically they're going to basically support your businesses. They're going to tell good word of mouth because it is business. The best advertising in business is your customers and clients. That's the man. Oh my God. I could just have a orgasm of how much business that I've gotten. I would have been nothing. I wouldn't have had no momentum at all in my business if it wasn't for client word of mouth, customer word of mouth. You know, I just wouldn't have had it. I would have never had any type of success if it wasn't for that word of mouth advertising, man. Shout out to the best, some of the best advertising, man. Oldest form of advertising, word of mouth, man. So you think he might be caking, you know, or whatever, but that dude, man, that woman gonna tell the whole world. And then he showed it to the whole world that, you know, he helped this person in a bad time, man. You know, real bad time. So here's the thing. This is the opposite. This is how usually evictions go. Okay, this is you gotta understand. Most people ain't millionaires. Most people ain't got money in real estate. You know, they struggling in real estate. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them people, unfortunately. So we're gonna play this one here, and this is it. It's normally how it goes.
Where your home insurance policy?
Your mammy got it.
Yeah, you'll cash it in.
For what?
For nothing, you piece of shit.
Like I said, if she called me to put you, I don't want you to leave.
You got a motherfucking gun. You talking shit.
What I need a gun for?
Because
for
you weak. You got one. I saw it on your hip.
That's what I'm saying. What I need it for?
So yeah, I mean, that's another side. We're gonna fix that family. What you mean by that? I don't. The other part about real estate that is like really troubling, really hard, is that tenants mess up your property. So imagine, right? This is what I was thinking about, because well before I decided to do this, right? I was gonna play some chess and put my crown on, but I was like, nah, let me get some value added information. That maybe help somebody. Basically, just imagine how hard of a struggle I had fixing this house up, and I'm continuing to have fixing this like freaking abandoned 100-year-old abandoned property. It's been vacant for over 20 years. And then I have a tenant come in and just trash my whole house within less than a year. That would just, I don't know, man. You know, and it's people that have done that. It's people that have had that struggle, man. You just got to understand, like, people that rented out. And I've had people walk past my house, I don't know how many times, and ask me if I'm renting my house. I'm like, man, hell no. I'm not renting my house out. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm gonna get Airbnb, and I'll have that Airbnb got a $10 million insurance policy for any damages, or at least $1 million. Oh man, for sure, man. But we gotta talk about the whole story, not just the little small segments. What's going on, Alonzo? Oh, well, shit. Reality is reality. I mean, y'all can help me not struggle real quick. I got Cashapp, man, all day long. I got all kind of merchandise, man. I don't necessarily, man, gotta struggle it. If you got it, you know what I'm saying? Hey, shoot, don't hate the player, hate the game. Shit, drop it like it's hot. So yeah, when it comes down to it, man, you got people that also damage your property. That's one of probably the biggest problems people have with real estate, is that they basically are fearful of people damaging their property. Property damage can be in thousands, tens of thousands. I mean, it could even be, shoot, your whole house. My first house, right? Okay, this is my first house. I bought this house for $1. And if you think I'm bullshitting you, you could look it up. I show receipts. Showing receipts ain't no problem for me. This is my first house in Chicago. And not last. I ain't gonna say my last. It ain't gonna be my last, man. I learned a lot, man, from this house, man. If I had the knowledge and insight that I have now, I will come back to this. I would basically be able to fix this house up. That's why I went to construction school and everything. I made sure that if this ever happened to me again, I would be able to deal with it. And then I got the right people to help me fix the house up too. So this is my first property, and then I'll show you the receipts. As far as I ain't making this up. I bought this house for $1. My mama helped me buy it too, because it was $1,000. So this is where it was. Let's see. The listing removed. This is who I bought it from. It used to be a management company called, basically not a management company. They was buying. This is what they was doing, right? They still do this. So I'm getting y'all $1 million worth of game. I'm just giving you alley-oops, right? Because some people got more money, man. Some people got that bread, Let's see what, what I'm saying? Oh, for sure, man. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Yeah, some people got that bread, man. I mean, I ain't saying no names, but some people got that bread, man. I'm talking about they sitting on 100 racks. They ain't even probably even need, to buy the book. They just listen to my content, and they, they use the Millionaire Savings Plan, and they sitting on 100 racks, man. You know what I'm saying? Not okay. The average person, they say like, okay, it's like 50% of U.S. households are living check to check, right? They don't have $1,000 emergency fund. Okay, that's like 50% of people, right? So you got some people that they ain't just got 1,000, they got 100 racks saved. You know what I'm saying? Like that, they doing good. Some people millionaires, of course, sitting on $500,000. Some people are fortunate. They don't have the problems that other people have, saving money. They ain't out spending, wasting money and all of that type of stuff. They're thrifty, they're frugal, whatever. And they got money. Okay. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to those people, man. Now the thing is that when it comes down to it, this house, the story behind this is that somebody was renting this property out. This is a 5-bedroom, 2-bath house. This house, I messed up so many. I did a video on this. It's like one of my broke stories. I learned a lot from this house, man. Basically, somebody burned this house down because they couldn't pay the rent, and they basically the fire department had to come up on the roof and put the axe through it. You know what I'm saying? And it was holes in the roof. Squirrels and the cats. The cats was coming in the house eating the squirrels. Okay, I mean, go figure. You know, it was a cat house, literally. So basically, I was the unfortunate person that bought it. I learned a lot from it, though. I learned a lot. Okay, learned quite a bit from this property. Now, my granddaddy building also his above his liquor store, female. One of the things, I don't know what it is about women and setting a match to a property, you know what I'm saying, because they got evicted. I don't know what it is. It's a woman thing. Obviously, I ain't gonna say men don't do it, but from what I know about real estate and basically people that rent out properties, that's just something that women do, like, a lot. Like, it's like they get behind, they blame everybody but them. Like, they not looking in the mirror. They gonna just throw a match, set the damn whole house on fire. And then they get away with it because, well, I ain't gonna lie, my granddaddy dead. I don't think she got away with it. I don't know. Maybe because, you know, people couldn't find people probably back then like that. So, I mean, but yeah, people was able to get away with that shit. Like, you know, definitely back in the day. Nowadays, you can't really. Yeah, no, everybody on the internet. Everybody got a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They got a cell phone number. You know, you already know real estate just one thing. Business. I'm a IT expert. So that means basically, yes, I'm a hacker by default. I part of my job is being a hacker. You can't be in IT and not. It's synonymous with one another. You gotta be a hacker unless you just, you know, I don't know. You work at a help desk and you just a call center bum, which that's fine. You everybody can, you know, they got to start somewhere. I started off that way too. Okay, I used to reset passwords for Time Warner Cable. That long story, but the thing is that, yeah, that's just, I've heard countless stories of women catching, you know, a problem with the landlord. My granddaddy, knowing about my granddaddy don't take too kindly to people disrespecting him, people owing the money. He probably cussed out, because my granddaddy will cuss you out just off. He damn near cussed everybody out. So he probably cussed out, okay? But just because he cussed out, don't mean you set a fucking match to you know, this is the thing, right? This is the fucked up thing, right? I just thought about it. So the house, you can leave the house. You can't threaten the other neighboring houses, right? Which is dangerous too, because house catch on fire. It's, I don't know how many times any fireman can tell you, you know, a house can catch another house on fire if it's next to it. Okay, it happens a lot in Chicago as well. Now, another building catch on fire, the next building over catch fire. So because you emotional, you a broke ass bum bitch that can't pay rent, and you set ablaze an apartment because you can't pay the rent. You know hard times is already coming because you getting evicted. You gotta go. So because you feel bitter about your life and woe is me, and you gonna set a whole apartment on fire, and then risk the other neighbors. Man, I'm gonna tell you this. I know the backstory of that story, right? So the backstory of my granddaddy basically apartment complex above his liquor store. You don't see it in the picture, but let me actually, I can get another picture of that actual liquor store. It's a currency exchange now. It's actually a currency exchange. They tore down the building, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably old photos of what it looked like before they shut it down. But basically, when you think about it, you got basically a situation where you risking the people that are in a neighboring apartments, the kids, people got babies. You risking everybody, because it's like, yeah, it's some people, if they can't have, their life is terrible, and that's why you get away from these people, man. You know these people, man. If this see, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people get away. That's why a lot of people can't travel. One of the reasons why people don't like travel, they know they can't travel because they know they fucked up people. Like, if you go to certain places and you behave like that, they're gonna kill you, and it's not gonna be no like long court sentence or bunch of illegal continuances and nothing. Like, man, certain place like Saudi Arabia, you set a apartment on fire and you risking other people's lives, and somebody died, and you set the apartment on fire. Because this is what happened. I found this out when I had my store. When my store was on 79th, and it's near Cottage Grove. It's literally down the street going north. So the people in the building had to jump out. The fire department was called. It was smoke and everything in the apartment because the apartment had to be remodeled and repainted and everything, because the whole apartment, other neighbor apartments, were all smoked out and damaged. The damn people had to jump out the building, man. Some people had broke their leg or injured their leg. People had to jump out the building to escape the fire because some raggedy broke ass bitch couldn't pay her rent. So and that's what happened. That's what happened in my house. Like, I don't know if it was a woman or a man, but that's why it was fire damage and it was for sale. It was literally a fire sale, and you shouldn't buy no house like this unless only person that should have bought my house should have been a master carpenter. That's it. Like, cause it's you have to know construction to the point where you know how to rebuild houses and stuff like that. Even if I did this tomorrow, if I had to rebuild this house and it was still existing, a city demolished this property, I mean, I would need a whole bunch of carpenters to help me. Like, I mean, you have to have this up to code. The wood studs have to be coated. Not coated like they coated in fire right here. It has to be up to code. Okay, you can't just put wood like it's a straw house and rebuild it. It has to be coded up to city of Chicago regulations, construction code, stuff like that. So there's a lot to this, but I bought it for $1. Okay, I wasn't afraid to buy no real estate, and I mean, now that I know what I know about real estate now, this is very, very valuable. Okay, I don't know who this guy is in the photo. I guess it was people that I would imagine they tried to do something with this property and they just was trying to get rid of it. But yeah, this was the basement. It had water. It had the water was turned on and it was just constantly running. It was like some type of leak or something. But they had actual ducts. So this house had a lot, man. If I would have known what I know now, I could have saved this house. Definitely could have saved this house. But I was a rookie. It was my first house. And I ain't know, I was in over my head. And it had electrical, man. It already had an existing working electrical system. And it's too embarrassing, man, to explain what I did. But yeah, I learned a lot, man. I learned quite a bit from this property, man. It was a lot of good things though, man, with this property that I just, I didn't know what to do. If I would have did it tomorrow, you gotta repair the roof. You gotta work from the inside out and repair the roof. The neighborhood is kind of rough. I ain't gonna even say kind of. It was rough. West Pullman is one of the roughest neighborhoods in Chicago. But if you tough, what I'm saying, I had my strap back then. I legally was able to have a strap as far as things, no problems, because state of Illinois is very strict on guns, but they're not strict on the criminals that have guns. So but the thing is that you definitely need security, probably a big ass dog, some guns, probably a bulletproof car. So yeah, I mean, but this was the first house I bought for $1. I mean, somebody burned it down. They didn't want to pay their rent. So the thing is that when it comes down to it, again, landlording is a business. It's a business. It ain't never not gonna be a business. You probably do need to have some type of LLC if you are going to be in landlording. You don't want to just have some sole proprietorship or have it set up to where somebody can sue you and take all of your money and all of your assets because whatever reason. And then of course, there are slumlords and stuff like that. Just slumlords, but that's a bad business, man. If you're dealing with a slumlord. So yeah, landlording is a business, and this goes right into the other thing that a lot of people. This is where I see people mess up at. It all goes down. It all flows. Tenant screening. Okay, terrible tenant screening. Now here's the thing with tenant screening, right? Why do you think people are terrible at tenant screening? I'll wait. Why do you think people are terrible at screening tenants? Because basically they don't have any financial surplus, and a lot of tenants, landlords are just as desperate as the tenants. They don't have no financial surplus. They money hungry for whatever reason. And here's another thing. A lot of times, I mean, for example, if you in certain cities and neighborhoods, what good is your tenant screening if the whole neighborhood is financially distressed, okay, socioeconomically depressed? What good is tenant screening going to do as far as, like, let's just say in an F grade neighborhood? How you can tenant screen, right? And it goes into, do you really want to invest in a F grade neighborhood. Okay, bad parts of Chicago, Inglewood, West Pullman, Roseland. You probably ever heard of the Wild Hundreds. That's what that is. West Pool. I bought my first house in the Wild Hundreds there. And wonder why I had nightmares. So the thing is that I'm a wild dude though. So the thing is that when it comes down to it, right? Certain neighborhoods it's just gonna be hard. Like I say, the F grade neighborhoods, it's gonna be hard to sell the property. It's gonna be hard to rent the property. If it's on an up and coming, okay, it's on an up and coming. But it's just certain areas that it's just gonna be harder to rent than others. It's gonna be hard to collect rent than others. In those areas, a lot of times this is what people do. Okay, I'm hopefully going to be having a show about Section 8. People rent out to Section 8 in those areas. The ghettos and whatever in the United States, a lot of people make money off of Section 8. Government housing is what it's called. And that's what people do. Like that's, people got to live somewhere. And it's like, the government is going to pay for that, they're gonna pay for people to live somewhere. And the tripped out thing about this is a tripped out thing about Section 8, right? This is a lot of people don't know this probably, right? So I don't know how it is in other states. Other states have different rules and cities, like Gary, Indiana has its own Section 8 department. They deal with Section 8, kind of like Chicago. Chicago has their own Section 8. So Section 8 is a tripped out thing, right? Unfortunately, I have a lot of insight on this. But it is, unfortunately, I do, because I may use it later for my own benefit. But the thing is this. In Illinois, like, for example, they have Section 8, right? Section 8 is federal, state, and also city. Okay, city regulated. So in Chicago, basically they have their own Section 8 department. And it's a funny thing when it comes to Section 8. This is my simp story. So I was super Saiyan simp, right? So before I had my children, everything, right? This is a hood love story. So I met my ex-wife off. She was living literally on O Block. I ain't know anything about no King Von. I knew who Lil Durk was because I was, I could rap a little bit, and I like listening to, rap, hip hop, whatever. Now I saw Lil Durk on like little local interviews and stuff. I did not know who King Von was. I didn't know who FBG Duck. None of these people, I didn't know who they were. I was walking up and down 63rd, being a future stepdad. Walking with my stepson, before then my girlfriend's son, and just walking up and down 63rd, right? So the thing is that when I had, like, I convinced her to move out of there. I was like, she thought it was cool. Like, she thought it was like, oh, it's great. It's gravy. Like, oh, $800 a month is no big deal. Now she lived way better than I do. Okay. In the suburbs, surrounded by a bunch of rich people. But the thing is this, like, I told her, because she was going to get a Section 8. She had finally got approved for Section 8. I said, man, I pretty much take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I take care of you. But the unfortunate thing is, I had to go through hell to be able to to deal with all that. So the thing is that yeah, that's a true story. Again, Super Saiyan simp. Like it's just how, you know. I mean, I was just a nice guy, but I didn't. I left. I don't know. I left room on the table to not be appreciated, man. Don't do that. If appreciation is reciprocal, if you're not appreciated and it's not reciprocal, it's a one way losing scenario. But the thing is that yeah, Section 8 it's a big thing in Illinois. It's primarily in the Chicagoland area. You got a lot of times people, if you got a Section 8 voucher, that's the equivalent of like a lottery ticket. So this is how crazy Section 8 is in the Chicagoland area, right? If you got that voucher, you can literally live in an upper class neighborhood with a Section 8 voucher. I kid you not. Like the average person cannot live in an upper class neighborhood because it's expensive, right? But if you got a voucher and you get a certain amount, you know, because the housing prices is so high, I heard Section 8 vouchers, and I've kind of watched a couple different videos on, and then read articles on the fact that Section 8 is not even covering a lot of the rent costs because the government hasn't increased Section 8 to cover the high rent costs. So it's like really like some people have, you know, the ideal situation is like your Section 8 voucher covers the entire rent amount, right? But ideally what people have to do, like they have to pay a portion of the rent. So the Section 8 voucher might cover 70% of the rent, and the person has to come out of pocket $300 or $400, you know, every month for it. So it's like a small, like portion. You get like a discount on rent, like a coupon on rent, but they still got to pay rent. But the ideal situation covers all of the rent, right? You don't have to come out of pocket anything. But some people, typically who get Section 8 is women with kids. Okay, that's why a lot of people they talk about baby mamas and women, why they have children and all this and be single mom. It's called a Section 8 voucher. That's lit. You can just say Section 8 voucher and it's done. The discussion is done. That's literally why. Because all of this came from the New Deal, Eisenhower, all of that, you know, the New Deal stuff, welfare and all of that, right? Because it was a lot of women that were just kind of destitute. You know, they were in destitute situations because they had children and their husband died in World War II, World War One, and they needed a place to live. They needed money. You know, poverty. It was a time, and I'll say this. You know, people always talk about. People act like everybody rich. Everybody act like they're rich, right? So it was a time in history that everybody mostly was poor. Like it was literally a time in history in the United States in the early 1900s. Damn near everybody was poor. Like it was no like it wasn't like a big middle class. It wasn't a bunch of rich people either. It was mostly everybody, black, white, everybody was mostly poor, you know. So it wasn't like everybody was in middle class like now or anything. It was mostly everybody was just poor. Okay, so they needed something to shore up people to get more help financially, especially women with children that were, their husband died in the war, or, died in the factory or something like that, died in the farm. They needed some money to help them financially. Now, fast forward to the future. Now, okay, it's used to, be a single mom. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. Okay. Now, that being said, that's why women have the incentive to just have a baby on their own. It's incentives on the government, on the state, because that's who owns the children. Okay, monarchy system ain't do nothing but just come over to shores of America. I mean, the government owns you as far as you're not a subject, but you're you can't be state property. Let's just say it like that. And that it goes into tinfoil hat talk and all of that, conspiracy talk and all that. But the thing is that basically that's the reason why a lot of women are comfortable, not all, but are quite comfortable to have children on their own. Then you got to understand, here's the thing, right? Not all women absolutely need that. Typically who are okay with that is women that pretty much they grew up poor and they already know, okay, this is what I can happen. Like I could be better dealing with Section 8 than my mother did. Like I know my mother, she was low down, she was kind of grimy, she was broke and she was poor, but I could be better. It's crazy, but I could be better with my Section 8 voucher than my mother was. And it's like me and their mama be beefing with them because their mama never had a car. They got a car and a nice purse, and they got a nice apartment or whatever with their Section 8 voucher. It's like some intergenerational type stuff that it's like based off of welfare, government subsidies, all of that type of stuff. But all of that is relative to the conversation because that is what makes some people rich, a lot of people rich. They don't really even talk about it because why would you? It's kind of like you're really like profiting off of welfare. Who wants to congratulate themselves for profiting off of welfare? But that's a lot of these cities, man. A lot of that's capitalism, man. Wherever is the potential for profit, you can make it. The thing is that a lot of people that get vouchers, basically mainly women with children, they need a place to live. They have the vouchers. The property owners get guaranteed rent, but it's times where even if they have a voucher, they're messing up the property. Now it's an incentive to also in order to keep your voucher, you have to keep up, basically the property. You can't damage people's property and still collect a voucher. Some people don't even know that. Some people don't know that you could complain to whatever housing authority that person has that voucher that pays you to them, and they'll lose their voucher. Now, here's the thing. This is where it goes to torch. And this is where grab the torch, the lighter, the lighter fluid, because they probably that's one of the reasons why. Just imagine you are already struggling, right? It takes sometimes almost a decade as far as waiting to get a voucher. You get it, you trash somebody's house, and you ain't paying. You didn't pay for it. You didn't pay for it, right? You're not gonna pay to fix up the property. You're just going on to the next. And the landlord said, "I'm gonna tell Section 8 you damaged my property because you're not gonna offer to pay it back for the damages. I'm gonna tell the Section 8 housing voucher authority that you damaged my property." Now they gotta, because see, women don't also, it's not like all women come from terrible mothers that have Section 8 vouchers and all that. No, it's not. Some women just don't want to listen to their mama. So a lot of women, their mom actually gives decent advice. They don't want to listen to them. They don't even want to listen to their mama. And the thought and the anger from trying to listen to their mother and have to go back to live with their mother is embarrassing. It's very embarrassing even to women to have to go back to live with your mother. Not all women, but definitely women that are rebellious in nature, which is a lot of women. And they go on their own and they don't know how to clean their room and they don't know how to clean their apartment and all of that, clean their house, keep their house clean. Those women tend to probably not want to go live with their mom again. Probably can't even live with their mom if their mom is even alive. So they don't have any place to go. They also losing their voucher. Yeah, they might. That's a recipe for, a lot of smoke. So the thing is that this is what can happen. And a lot of times Section 8 vouchers are synonymous with also people being lazy and not keeping their property clean and keeping it trashed up and damaging property.
That same motherfucker, that long titty motherfucker that I was talking about, I said I was coming back. This how she living. Like I said, she ain't washed her ass. How the fuck you gonna wash your ass in there?
She's sleeping.
Nah, I ain't gonna say. I mean, see, this is mental illness. Like, when you don't have your house in order, I'm not talking about like you got a complete house that somebody renovated from. All you got to do is call a cleaner over to your house, spend $7,500 to clean and organize your house, or whatever. Like, when you got it, when you living like this and your house is done and completed, that is definitely severe, like mental illness. You need to go talk to some people, and then you need to continue to talk to some people, and you absolutely need therapy. And that's the thing. This is another thing. Like, sometimes you be arguing with somebody online, and it's how they live, and you don't even know. But it's like, yeah, this is literally. I mean, like, this is okay. There's some things I haven't even talked about that I want to talk about, and one of those is minimalism, feng shui. Certain things like that it's kind of hard for certain people. Feng shui is easier than minimalism, but minimalism, can kind of help, definitely. And definitely feng shui kind of goes into a lot of different things, such as water, rocks, fire, air, mirrors, stuff like that. But definitely, like, everything has energy. Okay, everything has matter. Everything, like, when it's in disarray, it messes with your mind. It brings on confusion. It brings on thoughts of various thoughts of confusion and disorganization. It's a lot to it. and that's what you see a lot of times. But when it comes down to it, we talking about tenant screening, okay? And again, like a lot of times, you go to. I bet you 9 times out of 10, this area, wherever this apartment is or house, it is probably most likely in an F grade neighborhood, um, D or F grade neighborhood. And a lot of times in those neighborhoods, usually the person that owns the property is in financial distress as well as the tenant that they're looking for. Most 9 times out of 10 is in financial distress. It's just you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, that's not gonna help you for me to lie to you and butter things up and sugarcoat things up. So the thing is that when it comes down to that, how do you? The question is, how do you screen tenants in a F grade environment? How do you collect rent in those types of environments? Believe it or not, people absolutely do. Okay, people have problems? Yes, they do. Um, a lot of times, this is what I find out that people. I'm seeing this. I've helped out people try to fix their property up, and then I hear stories. Um, one of the guys that I helped him kind of work on his house, he ended up renting it out to somebody, and they trashed his property. All of that work, all them late nights working on property, and all of that, they, all the struggles, all that money, going back to Home Depot, back and forth to Menards, all of these hardware stores, they ain't do nothing but owe him rent and then trash his property. Now, here's the thing. What did he do? How did he find these people? I don't know. He's a mechanic. He probably is word of mouth, most likely. Okay, that don't help. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, I'm talking about Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana is not that bad that you probably think in your mind. Like it's certain segments of it. It's like, yeah, it's blighted and all that. But I'm going to be doing a video because I got to drive around some properties. I'm trying to go register for the next tax sale. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you basically what Gary, Indiana actually looks like. A lot of times people come here, a lot of white boys come here, they show you the bad side of Gary, Indiana, just so they can get more sensationalism, so you can get more hype. I'm gonna show you what the money is. I'm gonna show you the real side of Gary, like what it has, that why it's like a lot of it is hype. If I'm comfortable and I'm talking to you comfortable, I'm living a life of comfort. Okay, I'm not okay. Yeah, is it gunshots and stuff like that every now and again? Um, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is. I've figured out a little more than I did when I first moved in here. Kind of what's going on now. The thing is that what you got to understand is that real estate. A lot of time, real estate markets are cyclical. And there are neighborhoods that go from F grade and they get upgraded. Prime example, this is extreme example. New Orleans was at one time an F grade city in many parts of it. Okay, yeah, we already know what happened with Katrina, the levees and all of that. Okay, that now is a lot of parts of New Orleans is basically an A grade. It went from an F grade neighborhood, a lot of neighborhoods in New Orleans, to an A grade neighborhood. Okay, it is some neighborhoods that have went from poor neighborhoods to rich neighborhoods. It it rare it's real estate is very cyclical, cycle related. So a lot of times when you get older, you get wisdom, you get foresight. you're really good at real estate investing, and you work with a lot of real estate groups. Um, they work with the real estate prospectors. They can figure out, okay, so they have a 10-year, just like you look at stocks and you see a 5-year, you a 10-year, what did it do? It's people that do that with real estate too. And it's even easier with stocks than even stocks with real estate, because it's like, okay, well, the Japanese are buying a steel mill. Check. They have an airport that they're talking about expanding. They're buying more land. Check. Oh, they right by the Lake Michigan. Oh, they building new railroad lines. Check. Um, BlackRock is buying up everything known to man that's got a real estate parcel on it, a real estate parcel pin. Check. Real estate prices are already going up everywhere. So you think it wasn't going to go up in Gary? Check. Like all of these checks, you add them up. I mean, you add the minuses as well. Gangs, violence, crime, bad schools, bad infrastructure. Yeah, I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying? I did a video on my F grade video on real estate, like F grade neighborhoods. I laid out what F grade neighborhoods look like. Okay. But you got to understand that it's like certain real estate investors that a lot of them are millionaires, multimillionaires, and even billionaires. They're looking at Gary, Indiana. They're already invested in Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana is literally like, it's like the little brother of Chicago, and it's like it's only like I can get in my car right now. It take me to get to Chicago, the Chicago city limits. If I go to speed limit, which in Indiana is 70, when I go to Illinois, it goes into 60. It'll take me about 15 minutes to get to Chicago with no traffic. Downtown, 30 minutes. I'm downtown. I'm like, whatever, mixing it up. You know what I'm saying? Like hanging out 30 minutes. So the thing is that like I can get in my hometown. I grew up in Dalton, in like what, 10 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, about 10 minutes. So it's close to everything, and it's surrounded by money. Like it's money town surrounded. Like Gary is not just an eyesore that's just in the middle of nowhere. It's surrounded by money. It's just a bunch of black people moved to Gary from Chicago, like different parts of Chicago, from the South. White people didn't want to move with black people. Like they wanted to separate themselves. They took the same storyline, white flight, all of that, taking the infrastructure, taking the businesses and leaving, going somewhere else. Some businesses stayed. But the thing is that this is what you got to understand. People need a place to live. They're always going to need a place to live. And also, people, they got to make money. Real estate investors don't have to live in Gary, Indiana. My long-term plan is not to live in Gary, Indiana. I'm here to make money. I'm here to first to have a place to live and save money. A base. It's a home base. It was an opportunity for me to not have to live in an apartment building and pay rent to oblivion, and have some type of real estate prospect that I could make some money. Okay, it was an opportunity. I took it. It just is what it is. It's not. I'm not the only one that done this. I mean, the thing is that a lot of times it's just like the same thing with Chicago. This is, the same thing with Chicago. When I played that video, when I showed you the Gold Coast, the propaganda, I destroyed it. I destroyed it, the propaganda. Why they want you, why the elites want you to think Chicago is this like terrible city, that's crappy, that's people think is a shithole. I don't know what the fuck trying to do in the back rooms to influence people to believe Chicago's this big ass shithole. The same people that want you to believe that, you think that Gary, Indiana is this big ass shithole. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it's a big part of it. It is still a shithole. I'm not gonna cap to you, but there's some parts of it where shit, people ain't living in no shithole. Like it ain't like that. So I'm gonna drive around definitely. I'm gonna show some of the properties that I'm gonna be looking at, and I'm gonna show you, what I'm saying, what's real and what's not real. What's all hyped up and all of that. I'm gonna show you. What the hype is all about. But when it come to tenant screening again, it is it's kind of difficult when you get into those F grade neighborhoods where it's hard to rent. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is kind of difficult. I totally believe that it's kind of difficult to screen tenants, but it's not impossible. This is what I would do because see, here's the thing. I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I know Gary's a tough one to try to collect rent. I've heard all kinds of stories about people having problems collecting rent in Gary, Indiana. People trashing their property. This is what I would do. Like, okay, because a lot of times people have these problems in F grade neighborhoods and stuff like that, but they have it everywhere. People don't just have these problems in bad, quote unquote, bad neighborhoods or whatever, or ghetto neighborhoods, whatever you want to call it. The problem is with tenant screening. You can do better tenant screening. Okay, if you're a thirsty dude or thirsty woman that absolutely needs money because you need your money right away because you had to fix the property up. Okay, I get it. Okay, that's your reality. All right, I get it. You need money because you got a mortgage on the property, and you got to pay the mortgage every month, and you need money. Okay, fine. Well, one thing you got to understand is that's called desperation, and desperation is going to have you do desperate things. Okay, it just is what it is. Now, one of the times, okay, this is the thing that you got to understand of the mindset of a tenant that is like this, that destroys your property. They don't want to pay you rent. They look for victims. That's what you don't understand. You're looking at it like, okay, I just need money to collect rent and all of that, and this apartment has been vacant for so many months and a year or two, and then you start a person, when you telling them this information, like you telling them, okay, this person on the other end, what they're thinking is, they like, I got you, got me one, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. I got you. Got me a Vic, because basically you're desperate. Okay. And victims, if you're a victim, basically, you're basically going to be taken advantage of, because they're gonna come with that security deposit and first month's rent. They're gonna absolutely give you that. You renting the property out for, you want $1,200? Okay, here we got you. Okay, $2,400 right here, cashier's check. No, we got cash. We got cash. We got cold hard cash, man. we got food, we got cash to give, and then the first month they gonna probably pay okay. Then about after the third month, they're gonna be like,
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
they gonna want some. You gonna have some problems, and then yeah, you gonna have some phone calls that you're gonna be trying to call them, and then they're not gonna return your calls after a while. Text messages, they're not gonna return your text message. The whole song and dance. You pretty much gonna be having some issues, trying to collect rent. And it all started because you was a thirsty dude, a thirsty woman that you absolutely you needed her or him to rent that apartment, or that family to rent that apartment more than, what I'm saying, they needed a place to stay. They could have stayed anywhere. They could have stayed in a hotel. They could have stayed somewhere, another apartment. You needed them more than they needed you. And they took advantage of you right there. Because you didn't do this is like, again, this, you're supposed to be doing this. It's like, it's supposed to be a policy, but private landlords do things a little bit different. You're supposed to do at least a background check. Okay. A background check. Basically, this is what you could do. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what I would do. You're supposed to give them an application. Now, some people charge an application fee. I wouldn't even charge an application fee. I would just keep it real, like, because you're not supposed to be we're not financially desperate, right? So get them an application. If they got Section 8, you put that on the application, and list that yes or no, you got Section 8. After they fill out the application, now this person's name, their previous addresses, who's their landlord. Like, I mean, that's really, really good information, right? Who was their previous landlord? What's his name or her name? What's their phone number? Okay, bingo, hello. Okay, who was the previous landlords? What's their information? Who was this person named Bob, Rob, Jim, Tyrone, Leroy? Like, what's their number? So I can ask them about you. See, this is what's gonna happen. Okay, we're gonna break down the psychology of this scenario, this situation. They're not going to fill out that application. They're not going to fill out the application. And then even if they did fill out the application, okay, once they put down certain information, they might tell you a pack of lies. Okay, they're gonna say, "Oh, I was living with my mama," Okay, that's fine. What's your mama number? Just put your mama number there.
You see something? Now you see now. You done fucked up, that, don't you?
I see
what I'm saying?
I thought...
No, so, I'm saying that you done fucked up now. You know that, don't you?
What?
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
Yeah, so, I mean, basically, that bullshit is going to be coming, basically. So you got to sift through the bullshit, right? And here's the thing. People be like, don't judge, man. Don't judge people. People try to manipulate you by trying to set the tone for how you should do things. Absolutely. I've read Judges in the Bible. It was very, very good passages in the book of Judges. I judge, yes, all the time. So the thing is that when they okay, because you're gonna have to meet them, right? You don't have a business. You're just a private landlord. You got a couple buildings. You got one building. You got one property. Okay. You could meet them. Okay, you could meet them at Starbucks. Okay, what do they have on? This person has to pay you $1,200 US dollars every month. And then, okay, let's say they don't have Section 8. What do they dress like? Are they dressed in is this person dressed in some bummy clothes? Do they stink? Okay. Do they smell like corn chips and chicken? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? This person, you gotta understand, does this person look like someone that is going to pay you $1,200? This is psychology. I'm breaking down the psychology of this shit. Like, is this person able to pay you $1,200 a month? 24, whatever the hell the rent is, $2,400, $4,000. Is this person able to pay you that? One, yes or no? How do they look like a person that goes to where they're gonna go to work? Look like that? You know, it's the things you gotta ask yourself. And then two, is this person look like a person that's going to keep up your property? Is going to you want ideally, right, someone to value your property that you stressed out, lost sleep over, went to work 1,000 hours for and stress yourself out to oblivion to be able to fix your house up, to fix this apartment building up. Is this person able to look like they're able to basically keep the property up and value the property up? Do they value themselves? You just got to ask yourself these tough questions to yourself, because people talk not to be nice and not judge others, right? So, that being said, right, you also, in the tenant screening, you have a question. You have good credit, you have bad credit, you have poor credit. Or you might even put excellent credit, right? If it's excellent credit, okay, you got this house here. You wanted to sell it. Hell, you just so happen to be a landlord because you couldn't sell this property. Well, this person has excellent credit. Question you can ask them is, well, since you got excellent credit, do you want to buy this house? Because if you got excellent credit, you probably can get a mortgage from the bank and get this property in your name and own it. You'll pay way less than the amount of rent. The person might be like, no, I'm not ready to buy yet, or I just need a place for stay near my mom, she's sick, or whatever story, right? But basically, that's another thing that's important. This is where I see people fuck up. This is business, right? You're lending someone that you don't have. Okay, this is what I used to do, right? When I had my computer store, I used to give like people that I knew personally free, like people that I knew. Like this one dude, he was ex-Navy, he used to work for he worked in the cafeteria at a prison in Illinois. He had all kind of stories, crazy stories. And basically I gave him like credit. Like he would get like about $500 credit or whatever. He can use anytime he wants to. I knew the guy. I mean, like he was like, I used to go to his house. I mean, we used to sell computers, buy computers from each other back when I was being a flea market. So I knew. I mean, I offer him credit. You guys are offering people credit And here's a sickening. This is a more of a sickening thing, right? Some people treat strangers better than they do their own damn family members, man. You know what I'm saying? They treat their own family members like dog shit, and then they treat strangers the best. That's some crazy shit, boy. And it's like, they absolutely get dogged out by these strangers, though, right? I mean, people say family dog you out, whatever. Nah, not like strangers do for the most part. But the thing is that you get this person that you don't know, you offering them basically credits because you're terrible at business. Okay, for whatever reason, you just missed, you didn't pay attention. Okay. It's instead of clicking on, free business education from Harvard, because they have it online on YouTube, you clicked on NBA Youngboy. That's what you chose to do with your time. So you didn't just watch NBA Youngboy and just watch it and enjoy the music video. You played a playlist for hours, and you didn't watch Harvard Business or anything business related, on YouTube. So, you missed that part of the discussion to where you're giving a fucking person your house, you're offering them credit, you idiot. You missed that part, right? You're literally offering somebody a stranger your whole goddamn house that you work hard for whatever reason. You didn't get it easy. You giving them a whole house for absolutely no, like, they didn't qualify. They didn't have to qualify at all to get this damn property. Okay, so that's one, right? And then you didn't run the credit check. Okay, you didn't run the credit check. So now you gave this complete stranger that's pretty much a scam artist. A lot of people, you gotta understand, people scam artists. So because they scammed you, obviously, right? They fucked your house up. Your house is in disorder. They didn't pay you rent. So you didn't screen them, right? You didn't check their credit. So okay, you check their credit. You can check their credit. You could have a service do it. You could just pay for it yourself. It's better that you pay for it yourself, or if you really care a lot, and you know what I'm saying, you could charge a credit, a application fee, and you could say, if people like, I don't want to pay that fee, and you could be like, okay, well, I can just safe to tell you is that if your credit is not above like 575, you're wasting your money. You're wasting your $50. I can promise you that. If you know your credit score, you can go check. You can tell people, you can go check your credit score at creditkarma.com for free, or freecreditscore.com. And basically, if they'll give you a credit score right there for free. And you can find out what it is. And you can come back and talk to me. But basically, if you know your credit is not good, you spend that $50 for the credit application, and it's on you. If you get denied, I don't want to take your money for nothing, because we want you to get the apartment. I mean, it's all about how you talk and everything. But the thing is that you don't even have to charge a damn application fee. $50, shit. It doesn't even cost that much to have an application ran for someone's credit report. It doesn't even cost that much. It's worth your weight in gold for you to pay the money for, basically them to get, their credit information to you, so you can know where they lie. Because here's the thing, this is how I would do things. It's just my opinion, okay? Very, very good opinion. But the thing is that if you have a situation where their credit score, let's say, is 550, which is really bad, but it's worse. It can get worse than that. But it's 550. That's what you can do. Basically, you can have them put down instead of 1 month, 2 months security plus the first month's rent. Now, here's the thing. First things first, obviously someone with credit like this, you see an eviction on there. Obviously, you cannot rent to a lot of these people. This is where this whole caveman business shit, right? I seen this shit in Chicago, see it in Gary, Indiana. It's people, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you tell them this shit, they like it, look at you like, oh, okay, you right, but damn, I don't have the money a lot of times to do all that in the time. But here's the thing, right? That's caveman business, obviously. And then you ain't even got the heart to go upside their head with a club. And you shouldn't go upside their head with a club, but damn, that's caveman business for real. When you just get somebody your whole house or apartment unit and he just don't check anything. But see, here's the thing. This is why I did this video, and I appreciate you for rocking with me. You're gonna learn today. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna help a lot of people out with this for free. Now, if you appreciate the content, definitely, Cashapp links are below. The thing is this, right? When you screen them and you tell them you need 2 months security plus first month's rent, they may have the money, okay? But if you see an eviction on their credit and you take that risk, you gotta understand this person knows, okay, if I give you the money, I get keys, I sign paperwork. Like, for example, I hear about Michigan, other states. They don't really have a fast track eviction record to move people out the property. Some states favor the tenants over the landlords, right? So Michigan, from what I'm hearing, is one of those states. So it's like, here's the thing, right? Well, I'm giving you a toolkit with my, with my knowledge and insight on how you can deal with tenants. And I know people that are tenants are probably just, it's just another video to add to hate me, right? It is what it is. Hey, it is what it is. But the thing is this, right? If you see that eviction on their record and you still are offering them to get in one of your properties, just understand it's people that are absolutely scam artists. They will give you that 2 months rent. They'll give you that security deposit, whatever. And second month, they have not gave you any rent. They have not called you. And then after a while, they start returning your calls. Even if you show up, it's like when you showing up to people's property, because absolutely, you got to understand, that's their property. They have rights now. Yeah, this is not freaking, Pakistan or anything like that. There's laws, statutes, and responsibilities that you have as a landlord, and it's tenants' rights, all of that, states and all of that. Like, if you do now, I've seen people do some tactics. I'm not gonna talk about all that. I ain't got time to talk about all of that. But you can't just show up and then just bust in their house, which is y'all. Obviously, I know it's your house, but you chose to deal with this person. It's their house. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to understand. They have rental property rights now that you gave them because you're an idiot. That's what you need to know. That's all. Because you're an idiot, and that's what you did. You gave someone with an eviction on their record, on their credit report, your absolute hard-earned hard-earned property that it was basically very difficult for you to rehab. Yeah, that's what you did because you're either desperate or whatever the reason, and you took all of the risk, and now you even far worse off because now you have to get an attorney, you have to file some more money, and then let's just say it takes about a good 6 months for you to get them out the property. Now you come in, property's all messed up and trashed up, just like this here.
Do the light work? Oh my God. I'm gonna come to your house at 5 in the morning.
Good.
I promise you that.
Where your home insurance policy?
Your mammy got it.
Yeah, we'll cash it in.
For what?
For nothing, you piece of shit.
Like I said, if she called me to put you, I don't want you to leave.
You got a motherfucking gun. You talking shit.
What I need a gun for?
Cause
for
you weak. You got one. I saw it on the hip.
That's what I'm saying. What I need it for?
And she got a dog in there. Oh my God. So here's the thing, man. I'm gonna cut this off because I can't take that no more. But yeah, you absolutely, you gotta screen your tenants, man. This giving your part. I mean, I know you people struggling, landlords and stuff like that. I mean, the struggle, I understand the struggle, okay? But this is what you chose to get into. This is what you got to deal with. Just understand you're going to play back this video and you're going to definitely respect me more because, I'm the one that personally, it's people that absolutely, that dude that I just played this video, right? He charges people money to actually, he has courses and everything like that. And I'm definitely going to, put his information, I've talked about him before. And the thing is that, yeah, he has a course and everything like that to help you become a better landlord and a property investor, real estate investor. And the thing is that you got to understand, like, okay, when it comes down to it, it's just some things that I learned over time. I know it gets difficult. It gets difficult when you got like small amounts of capital. Okay, I mean it is what it is. I understand. Okay, I deal with things myself. Okay, but you gotta understand it's gonna be even more difficult when you deal with a tenant that messes up your property, doesn't pay you rent. Those are more problems than you trying to be desperate to have somebody pay you some small short-term money for you to rent out your property. So again, play back this video, and try to see if you can follow some of these steps. You having problems on your next tenant, try to change some things around, try to, maybe look up this person here, get some more insight on how to conduct your business properly, okay? How to actually landlord properly. Because, a lot of you guys are terrible at being landlords because honestly, you're just terrible at business. Now, again, I already talked about, like some part of, being a landlord is hardship counseling. Okay. People have problems with life, a lot of times, like I say, on this, like a lot of different levels, even people that got money, I mean, even rich people, they lose money. They have hardships. So part of you being a landlord is like I'll play this video again. Well, I played it before. I'm not gonna play it again. Play it from the top. you got to deal with people that lost their job, got sick, okay, they whatever, had some hard times and they can't pay their rent. They're not gonna pay you your rent. So what you gotta do? You gotta get them. Basically, what he did was he basically offered cash for keys. That's the actual term. He wasn't simping. It's cash for keys. How does that work, right? Well, it's cheaper. He actually that wasn't need cash for keys now, but it's like basically. Now I ain't gonna say you wait 2 years or nothing like that, but after about 6 months, instead of you getting a lawyer, instead of you going to eviction court and all of that money involved, paying sheriffs, like, okay, I know, you lost your job, your husband left you, boyfriend left you, whatever. Here is the deal. I got a business to run. I'm not your daddy. I'm not your, boyfriend, whatever. Um, I know it's people that do that. I know, I know, I know. I've heard so many stories. They even was doing Craigslist ads. I have apartment or a room or whatever. I mean, let me play old Huggy Bear. Let me play. Let me, let me. I got a little time tonight, man. I ain't got to go to work tomorrow. Um, let's see here. Let me go. Where's old Huggy Bear? You know what I'm saying? Talking about he need just hugs. he just need hugs. That's all he need. Uh that's all he need, man. He just needs some hugs. Let's see. Find old Huggy Bear. Shit. Let's see here. That's my man. Shoot, you go find Huggy Bear, man. Take he take care. He just want hugs, man, for a place to stay. He just need hugs.
Good morning, single women. I am single. I am looking for hugs. Not sex, but hugs. If that is you, I would like us to get to know each other and work from there. Okay? I live by myself. I have my own apartment. I just don't have a woman that's going to give me hugs in the morning. Now, if that can be you, let's work on it. Remember, I said this is only hugs. I did not say this is about sex. Okay? I'm looking for a hugging relationship. A person who lives with me, and you never have to pay rent or anything. Your pay will be giving a hug in the morning time. Let's work on that. Okay? Good morning, single women. I am single. I am looking for hugs.
So there you go, man. You don't have to worry about collecting rent. Or I mean, if you just need hugs, if you old Huggy Bear, you just want hugs. If you trust that, I gotta go. I gotta go for her to sell you with goat cheese and goat milk. If you believe that. But yeah, you don't have to worry about paying no rent with old Huggy Bear. That's all. You just have old Huggy Bear, man. Hug it out. Um, but yeah, part of being a landlord is hardship, counseling, and just dealing with people that got hardships. Hey, here go. This is what I could do for you. I could offer you. I got a moving company. Like for example, one of the things about one of my startups, Al's Home Services, is that a lot of it is based off of the fact that it's going to be something that complements real estate. So part of it is having a moving company. So I don't have to worry about like, okay, I got to move people out and all that. I already got a moving company. So got one or two moving trucks. And then it's supposed to be a la carte way to deal with real estate. So let's say if you got property, the goal is so you got property that you move in from California to New York. All right, so instead of you worrying about moving, you worrying about fixing up your house and all of that, even if it's an apartment, just we'll take care of everything. And then all you got to do is just move to your destination. And then we'll move everything. We'll take care of everything as far as repairs, or, renovations. And then you go to your new house, and then we'll move you, we'll fix up everything. So it's complimentary. Like, for example, I used to watch a show Flipping Vegas. The dude, he had his own crew. He had his own crew to do the rehabs. He didn't have like some people. This one dude I follow or whatever on YouTube. He deals with different people because that's just how he deals with business. Like sometimes people just don't want to. They don't do enough flips or whatever the hell. They just don't have the work, so they don't have a construction crew. Or rent, so basically, come on, you gotta get over there because we got work to do after this. So the thing is that a lot of times, people when they do that route, if they get real busy, the people that they deal with, because they're real good, they don't have the time to work on their properties. So this guy, he had the Flipping Vegas guy, he had his own construction crew. So they paid, he paid them a salary or whatever to keep, and they had work. So that was where that came from. But the thing is that when it comes down to it, you offer them a place to, stay, give them like a month in a hotel, give them, ability to move their stuff out, get them a little money. It's gonna be cheaper than an eviction. So, and then it just comes from basically, kind of some like hardship. Part of being a landlord is hardship counseling. When you're gonna have tenants, you're gonna have some hardship. Instead of dealing with the way of like the traditional ways, man, get the hell out of there, man. If you can't pay, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, I understand you got a hard time. I'm gonna give you. Typically, they'd be like, I give you a couple weeks to leave, whatever, like that. People ain't how he was. Is I ain't never seen no landlord be that nice to somebody ever, like my whole life. That's not gonna happen. Most people don't have the wherewithal to do that, or care enough about somebody to do that. Now, again, I don't know what the hell the backstory is on that, but the thing is, people typically just be like, I give you a week, I give you a month, even max, to get up everything and move. And then if they don't move, they don't come with the money or whatever, then it goes where it goes. But basically, a lot of times it's some form, whatever you choose to do, some form of like, you gotta understand, give some person some time, give them some grace. People lose their job. It happens every day. Like even jobs, like people lose their job. It's no guarantees. Like, so it's business is hard. Even working a job is hard. It's not easy. So life happens. So that's part of that. It's part of being a landlord. Hardship counseling. So the last thing I would say, and this is just kind of the things I learned from other landlords that didn't do really that great. Some that did better than others. Mainly my family members. You got to do inspections. Okay, you got to do some type of inspections. Like you should do an inspection on your property. Somebody living in your property. You know, Section 8 mandatory. It's a mandatory inspection they got to do every year. So I would say it's reasonable, and you ain't even got to come in the property. You got technology now. You got smartphones. You got FaceTime. You got all kind of ways. Zoom. All they got to do is just turn their phone on. Every 6 months, it's an inspection. Do a mandatory inspection. See, this is this. See, I'm giving the game away for free. Like, I mean, this is like this gonna change the world. This live stream gonna change the world, right? Because a lot of y'all just didn't understand. Like, y'all just don't know. Like, a lot of people are just terrible landlords. You know, very, very terrible. So the thing is that with the inspections, again, you ain't got to do a walkthrough. You have it scheduled. Okay, it's gonna be at this date, this time. What time you have available? Okay, so we're gonna do this through Zoom. You send them a Zoom link. They turn their phone on. They're gonna show you their, you know, how they keeping your apartment up, how they keeping your house up. And you can see, okay, all right, every 6 months, you're like, okay, it's time to do an inspection again. How are you keeping my property up? And then they're going to see, okay, I got to make sure everything, I got to, you know, it's a psychological effect to this. They're going to keep that property up most likely because they're going to know, oh, well, it's a hole in the wall. What happened there? My baby daddy, he through the remote. All right, I'm gonna have to deduct that from your security deposit. You know, obviously, because I mean, I didn't. You know, you're living there. I'm not living there. It's certain things like that you could deal with. You ain't gotta wait till you go do your freaking walkthrough after the person is left or got an eviction. Okay, you already can see all of these hidden like little stuff that they haven't showed you, because typically what happens, people don't walk through the property unless someone needs some repairs or they call you, the sink is messed up or the toilet won't flush or whatever. So it's like, yeah, and you probably won't even, people be like, here's the thing, like people are living not by themselves. Like people typically have families. So typically what happens is you walk through your own property, you going right to where the problem is. You go into the bathroom. If the toilet is clogged, you're gonna try to unclog the toilet or rot it out or whatever. And then you walking out and you gonna call, you know, and you're not gonna check all the bedrooms. You're not gonna check. So you do that inspection, that saves you a lot of time and money, you know, and you know, like again, I just wanted to give you guys this information, give you some type of value to this channel and not talk about the regular rigmarole stuff. And you can, you know, actually be a good landlord for final, you know, godforsaken chance. Like be a better businessman or woman, you know. You know what I'm saying? So you know, this is the king telling you how to be a better landlord, you know.